Alright, today we are cracking open the F-35 Lightning II, and I want you to forget everything you think you know about fighter jets. Seriously, this isn't just about speed and missiles. We're talking about a machine that sees, thinks, and fights in a way that is completely changing the rules of air combat. So, let's break it down. Okay, let's start with a question. Just imagine this. What if a fighter jet could see in every single direction at once? What if it could think together with its entire team? And what if it could become a total ghost to its enemies? Well, that's not science fiction anymore. That right there is the fundamental promise of the F-35. So, the story of this plane begins with one of the most ambitious ideas in military history. It was called the Joint Strike Fighter program. And the goal? Whoa, it was huge. They wanted to create a single family of aircraft that could replace a whole hangar's worth of legendary jets. We're talking the F-16, the A-10, the F-A-18, all of them. It was a massive undertaking, and it resulted in 3 distinct but related versions of the same jet. So, let's meet the family. First up, you've got the F-35A. This is the conventional takeoff and landing version, or CTOL for short. Now, what does that mean? It just means it takes off and lands like a regular airliner, using long paved runways. This is the most common version you'll see, and it's the workhorse for the US Air Force and a ton of its allies around the globe. And now for the real showstopper, the F-35B. This one's for the Marine Corps. It's a short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft, STVL. And this is its party trick. It can take off from a super short runway, but it can land vertically, just like a helicopter. This gives the Marines insane flexibility to operate from small ships or even just a clearing in the middle of nowhere. And rounding out the family, we have the F-35C, the carrier variant, built specifically for the US Navy. Look, operating from an aircraft carrier is one of the toughest jobs for any plane. So the F-35C is built like a tank. It's got bigger wings for more lift at slower speeds, a reinforced structure, and much stronger landing gear to handle those brutal controlled crashes that are carrier landings.
And this table really lays it all out beautifully. You can see that while they all look pretty similar, each version is custom built for its job. Now, the key to making this whole thing affordable was a really smart strategy of using common, cousin, and unique parts. So a lot of the core components are identical across all 3 jets. Some are just similar, or cousins. And then you have the really special stuff, like the B's lift fan or the C's arresting hook, which are totally unique.
Okay, let's get to the F-35's most famous feature, stealth. Now, it's really important to understand this. Stealth does not mean it's invisible like Wonder Woman's jet. It's all about being invisible to the enemy's sensors, especially radar. The whole point is to delay being detected until it's way too late for the bad guy to do anything about it. By the time they see the F-35, the fight is already over.
The fancy technical term for this is low observability, and it is literally baked into every single inch of the F-35. The jet's shape, with all its precise angles and smooth surfaces, is designed to bounce radar waves away from where they came from. It's coated in special radar-absorbent materials, and even its weapons are carried inside to keep that clean, stealthy profile. It's really about being a whisper in a world of shouts.
But, as amazing as the stealth is, the F-35's real secret weapon is its brain. This thing is a flying supercomputer, a sensor platform so advanced it gives the pilot a level of awareness that was just unthinkable a generation ago. And this is what truly makes it a 5th-generation fighter.
So how does the F-35 see the world? Well, it's not with just one set of eyes, but with many. Its advanced radar can track targets, jam enemy signals, and communicate all at the same time. Then there are cameras embedded all over the jet's skin that create this incredible 360-degree view. That means the pilot can literally look down right through the floor of the cockpit and see the ground below. An integrated targeting system gets rid of those bulky pods you see on other jets. And the best part? All of this information is projected directly onto the pilot's helmet visor.
So you might be wondering, how does a pilot possibly manage all that information? And the answer is something called sensor fusion. Just think of it as the F-35's superpower. It takes this fire hose of data coming from all the sensors and fuses it all together. It cuts through what experts call data smog. So instead of the pilot desperately trying to interpret a dozen different screens at once, the F-35's computer does all the hard work, merging everything into one simple, intuitive picture.
The process is actually pretty simple in concept, but it's incredibly complex to pull off. First, the F-35 collects a staggering amount of data. Then, its onboard brain processes and sorts it all, figuring out who's a friend, who's a foe, and tracking everything. And finally, it displays that picture, not on some cluttered screen, but as simple symbols overlaid on the pilot's real-world view. So a potential threat isn't just a blip on a radar screen, it's a clear symbol hovering in the sky exactly where it is in real life. But of course, a powerful brain needs a powerful body to go with it. So let's talk about the raw performance that backs up all this amazing technology. At the very heart of the F-35 is this number, over 40,000 pounds of thrust. And that comes from the Pratt & Whitney F-135, the most powerful fighter engine ever built. It's an absolute beast, giving the F-35 all the raw power it needs for supersonic flight, incredible maneuvers, and for the B model, the ability to literally defy gravity.
So, how does the F-35B pull off that vertical landing trick? It is a true marvel of engineering. There's a massive lift fan built right into the body just behind the cockpit, and it provides a huge column of cool air for vertical lift. This works together with the main engine, which has this special nozzle that can pivot to point straight down.
And this right here is the magic number that makes it all possible, 90 degrees. That's how far the engine's main nozzle can pivot. And it does it in just a couple of seconds, redirecting all that immense thrust straight towards the ground. That, plus the lift fan and some smaller roll posts, is how the pilot can get a stable hover and a gentle vertical landing. So what do you do with all this tech and all this power? Well, you get a plane that's capable of a huge range of missions. I mean, everything from supporting troops on the ground, to striking deep behind enemy lines, to taking on the most advanced enemy air defenses out there. That last one is a mission called SEED, Suppression of Enemy Air Defenses, and it is incredibly dangerous. The F-35's combo of stealth and advanced sensors makes it the perfect tool for that job. But let's be real, creating a machine this revolutionary was never, ever going to be easy. The F-35 program has faced enormous and very public challenges, both technically and financially. Pushing the boundaries of technology this far is a really difficult and very expensive process.
Yeah, the program's history is full of some really tough engineering problems that just had to be solved. Early on, the F-35B was just too heavy to do its vertical landing mission, which required a massive redesign. The F-35C's first tailhook design had trouble actually grabbing the arresting wires on carriers. And even complex systems like the ejection seat needed more work to be safe for pilots of all sizes. Each one of these was a major hurdle that took a ton of effort to overcome.
So why push through all those challenges? Well, this quote from General Hawk Carlisle really gets to the heart of it. The F-35 brings a capability that older, so-called legacy aircraft just don't have. It's all about being able to survive and win in the most dangerous, high-threat environments of the 21st century. So, at the end of the day, if you really want to understand the F-35, you have to stop thinking of it as just a fighter jet. Its greatest strength is its ability to suck in massive amounts of information, process it, and then share it across the entire network. An F-35 makes every other friendly ship, plane, and soldier on the battlefield smarter, safer, and way more effective. And that leaves us with one final thought. You know, in the past, air combat was a duel. It was individual pilots in individual machines. But now we have platforms that operate as a single connected intelligence. So the real question is, When you create a network where every single fighter sees what all of its teammates see, how does that change the rules of the game forever? It is a fundamental shift, and we are just now beginning to see its impact.
Promise you you'll catch me.